I don't want to yank this crown of mine. It's too precious. It's too precious. I have learned that if I am good to my hair will be good to me. Hey family, welcome back to my channel for another video with crystal clear curls. If you are new here, please join the family and click the subscribe button. And if you are returning, then hey, how you doing? If you would like to be reminded of any time that I post a video, please click that little bell that's beside subscribe and it'll give you a notification anytime I upload a video. So let's get right into it. Today we are going to be detangling with deep conditioner. So the conditioner that I'm using today is the Rose Hydrating Conditioner. There it is. And it is by Nature's Little Secret. I love this stuff. Love, love, love it. And today we're going to be talking about some tips on how to minimize breakage while detangling and using a detangling brush. So some people like to stick to just finger detangling because they feel like they are cutting down as much breakage as possible. I am one to believe that my fingers cannot fully detangle my hair, and therefore I use a brush. And my favorite brush to use, I use a lot of, I have quite a few of them that I like, but my all-time favorite is the Felicia Leatherwood detangling brush. I will link it down below. It is in my Amazon store, and yes, I do make commission off of it, but it will not cost you anything extra. But I will leave this in the description box because I love this brush. I'm thinking about getting another one because some of my teeth in it are starting to, you know, get a little out of shape, but I've had it for almost 2 years now. No. I've had it for a year now. And so it's about time to, you know, get a new one. And I will. And I will. So I have already added the conditioner on my hair. I started doing that maybe a couple months ago, where I go ahead and add the conditioner in each section. And I kind of let it sit for a little while, and then I go in and detangle it. Not quite sure if there's any science to that being better. It's just something that I started and I like it much better. I kind of go in afterwards, and to me it is easier to detangle when I do it that way. So I have with me my water bottle just to re-wet my hair. I like to make sure that my hair is really wet when I'm using a detangling brush, and that also helps to add slip and to cut down on breakage. So my first tip is to make sure that you are detangling on wet hair. By having your hair wet, you're going to add slip. You're going to be able to use less product, and it's going to be much easier for your brush to detangle with minimal breakage. So we're going to start with this first section. So my second tip is to do it in sections. If you do it in sections, you're able to concentrate on one area, and I even take subsections so that I'm not trying to detangle this full section of hair at one time. I need to minimize how much hair I have in one section. For my outer areas, I have finer hair, and so it doesn't take a lot, but the closer I get to my crown, the thicker those strands are, the denser my hair is. And so in those sections, I really like to take subsections and really make sure I'm getting in and detangling it well. So the first tip was to make sure you're doing it on soaking wet hair. Try to get that as wet as possible. If you're in the shower, you can easily just run the water over your hair. And if you're like me, I'm not crazy about washing my hair in the shower. I always make sure I have my water bottle. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a subsection here. And like I said before, I already have the conditioner on, and I may add a little more. It just depends on how it feels once I get in here. And so tip number 3 is start with finger detangling. I do not go straight in with a brush because you're going to get the big snags. You're going to get the big snags, which in turn causes pulling, which in turn causes breakage. If you can eliminate that, then why wouldn't you? So I always start off really making sure that I smooth that conditioner in, making sure it is on my roots. And then I usually like to take my thumbs to separate it at the root and be able to go down the shaft. And I do this in several sections just to really make sure that I get those really big tangles or really big snags. And if you come up on one like this, you can easily work it out. But see, easy. And so if I were going through with a brush, I may have hit a snag and pulled out some much needed hair. I would have liked to keep all my hair. So I'm going to add a little water. Get it nice and slippery. And you can even hear my hand and how it's going down much easier. Added a lot of slip. And I'm just going to start at the end. So that's tip number 4. I think 4 or 5. But you want to start at the ends and you want to hold your brush vertically. I can't even remember where I learned that little tip. Somebody on Instagram. I don't want to take anybody's shine, but I learned it from somebody on Instagram. And when I found it out, it was the best thing ever. So I start with vertical brushing as opposed to horizontal brushing. If I'm not mistaken, I saw somewhere where they said the teeth of the brush are formulated, or not formulated, but they're designed to detangle this way and smooth horizontally. I think that's what it is. But it does glide through my hair much easier when I start off with vertical brushing. And so as you can also tell, I don't like to just freelance, brushing it all wildly. I like to make sure that I am in control. And the best way for me to do that is to use one hand for brushing and one hand for holding. So that if I do hit a snag, I can easily stop and address the snag. So that little subsection is detangled. I'm going to move on to the second one. And I'm going to break this down into 2 sections because I am getting to the most dense part of my hair. And so my next tip is to be gentle. This is your crown. It is yours. It is no one else's. And you have to treat it with love. And so you need to be gentle. So that's one reason why I brush with one and hold with the other. I don't want to yank this crown of mine. It's too precious. It is too precious, and I do not want to cause it harm, because I have learned that if I am good to my hair will be good to me. So I have finished that section. I have a little more hair than I'm probably used to, and it's because I didn't do any pre-detangling, regardless of the state that my hair was in, which it wasn't in a bad state, but like I said, my hair hadn't felt the best. From that section, we got about this much hair, and I see a lot of white bulbs, which means shedding. I really don't see many little short pieces of hair, which would most likely mean breakage. Yeah, most of these have the little white bulbs, which means it's just shedding. So I am going to move on to this section. I'm going to do it on camera. I'll come back and kind of go over those tips again, and then I'll do the rest of my detangling off camera. And so comment down below if there are any other detangling tips that you use while deep conditioning or conditioning that you'd like to share with everyone. Okay, so I finished detangling each 4 section. It didn't take me that long, maybe 7 more minutes after I got off camera. So I wanted to recap the tips. I don't know if I'm going to remember them in order, but here they go. Make sure that your hair is soaking wet. If you are washing in the shower, you can run your hair under the running water with the conditioner on, just to give it that extra slip. That extra slip means that that brush can flow through much better, which in turn gives you less breakage. Number 2, I do believe, was to do your hair in sections. Even if you're not gonna do it distinctly in 4 sections like me, just to be able to concentrate on a section at a time really lets you get that section as detangled as possible. It lets you focus on one area. And if your hair is anything like mine, where you have less dense hair around the edges and then very dense hair in the middle, that gives me the chance to give each part of my hair the attention that it needs. Number 3 was to start by finger detangling first, and that helps you to get those big snags and those big tangles without bringing a brush through them, because that can be very harsh on your hair. So try finger detangling first, and then I added some more water, and then I started with my brush and I started at the ends and I did it vertically. So doing it vertically just helps it run through those tangles a lot better. And then after you've done it all the way up to the root, you can then use some horizontal strokes just to make sure that conditioner is distributed throughout the section. And the last tip was to be gentle. It is your crown. If you love it, it will love you back. So that is all for my video on today. If you have enjoyed this video, please click that like button. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe and invite someone. Invite someone to the family. I mean, who doesn't want to be a cousin? If you don't already, please follow me on all platforms. I am at Crystal Clear Curls on everything. That's Instagram, which is where I post most of my content. TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest. I think that's it. Yeah, I'm on all of those. So if you aren't following me there, please look me up and come along. On Instagram, I share a whole lot more, short form videos. And I hope that you join me. So until next time, bye.